All right, today's video is going to be more of a rant. There's not really a structure here. I don't normally have a structure, but this just happened yesterday and I'm starting to think I'm never going to get a fucking job. I'm going to be honest with you guys. So, first things first, I had two interviews at two separate companies set up for yesterday. Right? So, company A, I had an interview yesterday at 11 a.m. and then an interview today at 12 in the afternoon for. Back to back interviews. They told me they'd get back to me by the end of the month or beginning of the next month. They're not too sure because I was the first person they interviewed. Cool. Those went well. That's a much lower paying role. Unfortunately, not much I could do about that. Beggars can't really be choosers, right? Company B. This is where the rant fucking comes in today. Boy, howdy. Oh my fucking god. All right. So let's just get straight into it. Company B, they want me to do an interview in person with them in their office, which I prefer. So no biggie, right? I did a small little talk on the phone with them. They said, "Hey, come in office, speak with us. We really liked everything on your resume. We want to get to know you more. We think you're a great fit for this role." Perfect. So I get there. I'm emailing this one worker there, and he's like, "Hey, just get here at 2 p.m. That's the time of the interview." So I showed up there at around 1:50, 1:52. I didn't want to be 10 minutes early, but I was still more than 5 minutes early. They had a little lobby in the front that I was just waiting in. And I'm sitting there, and it hits 2 o'clock. And there's, you know, no nobody's in the lobby besides me. Like the front desk where like I guess someone normally sits is just empty. And so I'm like, okay, maybe I'll peek my head back behind just to be like, hey, I'm here for that interview, give it the old college try. I peek my head in the back. I see nobody. There's no one back there. It's like a ghost town in this building. So, for reference, it's a suite inside of like a corporate building. So they had like a section of the floor kind of thing. And so I'm in their little like front room area. I go back to it and I just email the guy I was messaging. And I'm like, hey, I'm here. I said it in a professional way. Obviously, I wasn't like being a dick or anything. Obviously, I fucking need a job. So I'm like, hey, I'm here. Just want. Would you like me to head back there, or is there someone coming out here? And he goes, just sit tight. Someone's coming up there. So I'm just sitting there, like he said, and I'm sitting in the lobby, and the owner of the company walks out into the lobby, and I know it's the owner because I did my research before the interview, because I'm trying to get the fucking job. And he looks at me and goes, "Did nobody come get you yet?" And I was like, no, no, sir." And I was like, "Nice to meet you." I shook his hand. He kind of seemed like a little confused that I was even there, so that was weird. And then he goes, "Okay, um, I was give this guy a fake name." He's like, "Adam's gonna come get you real quick." So I'm like, "All right, cool, sounds good." So he's like, "Sit tight." He leaves the building, like he leaves their office, and I guess he like went on his lunch break to go get some food. So, and that comes into play later. So then Adam comes and gets me about 5 minutes later. So it's about 2:15 at this point, and he goes, "Hey," and he goes, "Did you bring a copy of your resume with you?" Because I applied to this job through Indeed. And luckily I did. I brought a copy of my resume and a letter of recommendation from my former employer. Just showing like, hey, he is a full stack developer. He's very good at his job. We would still be with him if it wasn't for the budget cuts, all that stuff. Just kind of showing that I'm not a bad employee. That's not why I lost my job. So I bring that in the hand to him. He goes, "Okay, cool. This is the first I'm seeing it because nobody sent it to me." This is what he's saying to me. This is what Adam's saying to me. "This is the first I'm seeing it. No one sent this to me." He's kind of like ranting about it. I'm like, "Oh, like, mistakes like that happen all the time, huh?" Like, like I don't want to I don't want to like be against him, but I don't want to take his side and be like, "Yeah, fuck whoever didn't send that to you," because I don't know who has more sway in getting me the damn job. So I'm sitting there, and he's basically going over with everything. He's like, "All right, so you're a full stack developer," and I'm like, Yes, yes, sir. Right. And we're going over things, asking about my work experience. He's like, oh, like awesome. Do you know more about the company? And I'm like, yeah, I kind of go over what I know, why I think I'm a good fit for the company. Not to give too much information now, but it's a field where my family works in, and it's a web developer, or it's a full stack engineer role for that company. And that company, their product is in the field that my some of my family members work in. So I'm like, yeah, like I think it's a good fit here because I know a little about the field. Plus, like obviously I know the job itself, like the qualifications. And he goes, all right, like sounds good. Um, and also, a fair bit of context: the owner of the company was messaging me on Indeed after he got my resume and said, after reviewing your resume, I think you're wonderful for the job. Um, these are all the skills that we'd be using here. Like, and you have all of those skills. We think that's awesome. Yada, yada, yada. So, talking to Adam, I don't want to sound mean because, like, he seemed like a nice guy, but he sounded like it kind of threw me off because the way he talked, he was going, so why do you want to work for our company and not another company for the same role? Are you interviewing with other places? That's how he talked to me. And that's fine, like that's okay. Just it kind of caught me off guard because I did see a picture of him on the website when I was doing my research, and based off looking at him, he looks like he's like a vibrant, smiley person, So that was pretty weird. Maybe he's having a rough day, I don't know. I don't know the guy. So that happened, and then he was like, "All right, well, we have two in-house." He didn't say in-house developers; he called them in-house coders, which I thought was kind of funny. But he's like, "We have two in-house coders here, so I'm gonna go talk to them, and I'll have them come talk to you." So then another nice guy comes in. I actually don't remember his name, so we'll just call him Eric. Eric walks in, and I shake his hand. I'm like, "Oh, like nice to," because Adam tells me, "Hey, wait in this office, sit down." Here, just kind of like wait, and one of our guys will be in here. So a guy walks in, stand up, shake his hand. Hi, I'm me. Nice to meet you. And he's like, hey, I'm Eric. And then he's like, I'm the lead developer here. So we get to talking. I explained that I'm like a self-taught developer because he's asking if like what my background was education wise, and then something he didn't have a problem with. He himself has a degree, but it wasn't in computer science, so he like coding wise, he's fully self-taught. So we're speaking a little bit. Me and him, it started a little weird at first because he also told me, "Hey, I've never seen your resume. I'm glad you brought it in." And we kind of went over it. He's like, "They didn't even tell me I was interviewing anybody until like just now before I walked into this room." So then I'm like, "No worries, man. Like all good." And normally you're saying, "Hey, why are you even dealing with this, man? Like this company seems super unorganized." They're paying six figures for this job and I'm unemployed. Like, even if they weren't paying six figures, I got to deal with this because these are the only interviews I've gotten since I've been unemployed that are like actual, like, sit down interviews. So I'm sitting there and we're having this really awkward conversation. Eventually becomes like pretty good. We're talking about like different frameworks, different programming languages, and the use of like AI and coding. And this company, they're a big proponent of using like Claude Code to help with the development process, which is more efficient. If you know what you're doing, you can really fucking make this, make it a very quick process as long as you're able to like, make sure that's not making any errors, or if it is making errors, how to fix those errors. So we're going over that and everything's going well. Everything's going fucking swimmingly. Then he goes, okay, I have no more questions. Um, I'll go get Adam. So I'm like, hey, no worries, right? Nice meeting you. We had a great talk. Seemed like a nice dude, right? And so he leaves the room, and I'm sitting in this room for 10 whole minutes just by myself. He said he was just going to go get Adam. So I'm like, I'm just going to wait here, right? Fuck it. I'll wait here, see what he comes back with. So 10 minutes later, this door opens, and lo and behold, Adam's nowhere in fucking sight. It's some other guy who I've never spoken with. at this company. As I've spoken with about 4 or 5 people at this company at this point across like the emails, the first preliminary Zoom interview, and in person here. And this guy is just random dude number 5 that popped in. So I, stand up. I go to shake his hand, and I'm like, "Hi, nice to meet you." And he kind of like didn't shake my hand. Like he put his hand out there. I would like shake his hand. I kind of just like moved his hand for him. It was very awkward. I do think he also seemed a little bit socially awkward. If you're kind of picking up my drift there, but nothing wrong with that. That's okay. Like that's totally fine. So we're talking for about 30 seconds, right? He goes, "Do you have any bachelors?" And I said, like, "No, I'm self-taught." And I go over the same thing I went with the other guy, the lead developer, his boss, because he was also, I found out, a software engineer there. And he goes, "Okay, do you know AWS, Amazon Web Services?" And I go, "Yes, a little bit. My last role, I didn't work with it, but I have previously." And he went, "Okay, I have no more questions." And he got up and he walked out. The whole process of him walking in there, he didn't even tell me his name, by the way. So him walking in there saying, "I'm a software engineer here. Do you have any bachelors? Do you know AWS?" That's all I have to ask. And he walked out. That was 45 seconds, and he did not blink one time as well. That was also fucking wild. So once again, now I'm thrown off, right? I'm like, okay, is anybody else coming in this room? Do I just leave? Like, what's going on? So I stay sitting in there. Adam walks back in 5 minutes later, and he's going, "Hey, so now that you spoke with the developers here, um, we're just gonna have you wait until," and he said the boss's name, until he's like, "till the boss gets back, like the owner, from his lunch break." And he's like, "That should be in about 5 minutes," and he wants to speak with you as well. So I'm like, "No worries, right?" Like, I'm trying to be polite, but like, what the fuck is going on? Like, are you guys just fucking with me at this point? This was crazy. So I'm sitting there. The owner comes back from his lunch break. I shit you not, 10 minutes later, right? I've been at this place for like over an hour at this point. And 30 minutes of that shit has not even been talking to anybody. It's just been me sitting in a fucking room by myself, not even counting me sitting by the front desk at the beginning. So then the boss comes in and he's like, "Hey, nice to meet you in person finally," even though I shook his hand by the front desk earlier. Kind of awkward, but whatever. Like, that's not that big of a fucking deal. I'm just nitpicking at that point. So then he goes, "All right, so I see here that you're a full stack developer." Now, I'm not gonna say what the company does, but they are in the real estate sector. I'll put it that much. And so the owner, that's what he focuses on. He's not a developer. He doesn't code. He doesn't, that's not his business. That's not what he does. He just owns the company that owns the software that these people work on. And so he goes, "Okay, so I see like all your stuff here, like you know AWS, React, Node.js, and like you know how to use like Claude Code." And he goes, "Those are all the stuff we use here. It's our full tech stack." And then he's, "Oh, and SQL. And then he's like, "But you know that, and like that's our full tech stack." And he asked me, he goes, "What are you most comfortable with coding wise? Like, what's your best skill set?" And so I tell him, I'm like, like I'm a full stack developer, but I really like React. It's a front end framework, but like React is my shit. That's what I do. And he looks at me and he like scoffs. He goes, "Ugh," like that. And I was like, "Oh shit, like what the fuck?" And he was like, "So you're a front end developer?" And I was like, "Well, no, I'm full stack. Like I have the ability to do both. I did both in my last role." And he goes, "Yeah, but you're really a front end developer. You put on your resume that you're a full stack." And I'm like, "Well, I am a full stack. I have a full stack, like skill set. I have full stack capability. So like, like I am. I just, like I said, I started with front end. I am just better at front end. I would say like my skills like maybe a 60-40 split, right? 60%, like, I'm more comfortable in front end. But it doesn't mean I can't do back end. There's no one that's like, a perfect 50-50. Usually someone prefers back end or prefers front end. And he goes, "Yeah, well, this is a very back end heavy role that focuses a lot on Node.js." And he's like saying this to me, and I'm like, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. But like, obviously, like, I'm not gonna say that to him. I'm trying to get a fucking job at the end of the day. No matter how much of a dick he is, I have to fucking be nice to him because, at the end of the day, I need a job, and that's just the economy we live in. The guy wants to be a fucking asshole to you. You just gotta let him at this point because I've been unemployed for fucking 3 months and I have no money. So I'm sitting there, I'm like, all right, like, but I am like all that stuff, trying to like be kind. And then he looks at me and he's like, so how much years of experience do you have? And I told a little fib. I got about, 2 years, a little over 2 years of professional experience, but I've been coding myself, like making my own projects for around 4 years, I would say. It's more like 3 years and 10 months, but I said four. And he goes, so you're pretty green then. And the role was requiring someone with 4 or 5 years of experience. So I'm like, well, I'm exactly what you're looking for, but sure, like, because I told him 4 years. Um, and then that one's on me. And then he goes, okay, like, do you live in the city, like in this like city's area here? And I go, yeah, I live about 20 minutes away from the office because in person role. And he goes, yeah, like that's pretty far. 20 minutes away, dude. That's not that far. Like am I fucking insane? Is it not? Is a 20-minute commute too long somewhere that pays you six figures? I don't mind driving 20 minutes. I never have, never will. I don't show up late places. I'm good about that. I fucking got to the interview before anybody there knew that they were even doing an interview. So all this happens. So he's like, all right, that's all my questions for now. You're the first person we interviewed, same as the other company. So company B is like, yeah, you're the first person we interviewed. We need someone to fill the role urgently, so we're going to reach back out to you on Thursday or Friday to let you know if you have the role. So for me, that's tomorrow or in 2 days from now to let you know if you have the role, if we went with someone else. I was like, all right, like, I appreciate your time. Thank you for um, thanks for the interview and all that stuff. Like, thanks for taking your time to sit down with me. Like, just like being professional. Then I shake his hand and I head out. And then I just leave, and I'm like, what the fuck did I just like? What the fuck did I just do there? Well, that was so confusing. And then today, it's been about, like I said, it happened yesterday. So today I emailed them, and I was just like, emailed the person I was speaking with previously through email, and I was like, hey, just want to say thank you for all your guys' time and all that. I all that stuff. It's just being like professional. Like, I look forward to hearing back from you guys. Um, so honestly, do I have this job? I have no clue. Adam seemed like he liked me. Eric, the lead developer, seemed like he liked me. The owner was a complete fucking ass bag. And then the other guy, I don't know, dude. I don't know. I don't know with him. I don't. He definitely didn't like me, but I don't. It was only 45 seconds. He can't hate me that much, I guess. So that's the predicament I'm in now. Like, this is the only job that like actually pays well that I've had an interview with so far. Um, I think company A that I was talking about, I think I will get that job in the bag. I'll get an offer from them for sure. But that's less than 40K a year, Like, that's, I mean, not overall, like with bonuses and everything else, it goes like a little bit above that, and like with their like 401k matching and all of that stuff. But like I said, it's less than I was making before, and things were already tight. I don't live in a cheap area, so it's just a lot of shit going on. I really hope I get this role, even though that I'll be working with clowns 24/7. But yeah, so that's how I'm feeling. Thought I'd just come on here and rant about that. Fucking, I might die unemployed at this point. Fucking looked in the mirror the other day and saw that I had a gray hair for the first time. So shit's really going downhill for me. 24 years old. But all right, thank you guys for listening. Sorry for the long ramble. This is my longest video ever, but this shit just kind of pissed me off. Like, I put all this effort in, and they couldn't even have the decency to prepare to interview me. So, like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed. I really do appreciate it. It helps a lot. My goal by the end of the year is 500 subscribers. It was originally 250, but we're already at 217. So fucking 500. That would just be awesome. And yeah, I just appreciate you guys sticking by. You don't have to subscribe or anything if you don't want to, but I appreciate it. Have a good one.